Valleys Kids is a place-based community development organisation. But what does that look like? It looks like many things. So we have parent and toddler groups, after-school play, youth centres. We have an amazing charity shop and coffee shop, book lending library. We have facilities for older adults as well. You knit and natter groups, friendship cafes. What does a community need? Cradle to grave, I guess. And there's everything in between that. So my name is Kath Edwards. I'm the Families Team Coordinator. So I head up a team of staff who work throughout Valleys Kids and throughout Rhondda Cynon Taf. So we're in the Sower Centre, and this room is what we call the coffee bar area. It's certainly a place where children come to eat and where any meals are prepared for evening sessions. It's also where mums come and hide a little when their kids are here running around in the rest of the buildings. So this is the smaller kind of counselling room or therapy room. Children, families will come from all over Rhondda Cynon Taf really to access services in the building. The South Wales Valleys, in the same way many other parts of the country are affected, this is about food and heat. Very much so, people are making decisions as to whether or not they knock the heating on or they feed their kids. And that's real for us. You know, we have to give people something else to focus on. It's about aspiration, isn't it? If you can't see it, then you can't be it, right? So it's really important. Pennygraig is a mining village, you know, it was back in the day for sure, and we've lived through the decline of coal from heavy industries to none. Valleys communities are used to being the bottom of, every list you don't want to be the bottom of. ACEs, or adverse childhood experiences, are significant things that happen to you when you're growing up. And that can include the loss of a parent, domestic abuse, sexual violence. They tend to be quite significant situations. And for some people, you will experience it once. If you, for instance, live with domestic violence, then the longer you're exposed to that, the more challenging that stuff becomes. The general threshold for poor outcome, and when I say poor outcome, I mean health outcome and emotional health outcome, is 4. And that includes early death from cancer, diabetes, big issues around health, but also, unfortunately, you could be predisposed to risky sexual behaviour, find yourself in prison, dependency on drugs and alcohol, and the full range of issues around that. I think it's really important to understand that that's not your trajectory. You know, you can change that. You know, we need to be able to deal with trauma. How do we get behind that? How do we really change prevalence of adverse childhood experiences? That's where our community development approach comes into this stuff.
I was 15 and my mum moved up here. I thought one day if I don't go, I'll be in Hull forever, and I just picked up and I left and I come here. When I referred to Valleys Kids, there was a lot of behavioural issues with the children with ASD and ADHD. I was fighting for diagnoses, but it was at a really bad point. My boy was very close to being kicked out of school for behavioural issues at the age of 7. Over Christmas time, I was quite unwell with my mental health. I've got to be honest, as much as I've had a fair old bit of trauma in my life, I'm quite good at pulling my socks up and just getting on, so I thought. We got involved with Valleys Kids and slowly things started to take a turn, and I gained a lot of confidence, my son gained a lot of confidence. It was a big thing for me to turn around and ask an organisation for help. But you know what, it's the best thing I ever did. I've just recently started volunteering in the shop and I love it. I've always worked from being 15 until I had the kids, I'd worked. And I missed that so much. So going back gives me a sense of purpose and to be me again, not just mum, not just an SEN mum. I'm me. They gave me the tools, they gave me the confidence. And that's what you need. You don't need mollycoddling or anything like that. You need to be supported.
We're not an organisation that only deals with point of crisis, but I think what we need to be really conscious of is how we mitigate. This is this community development approach to adverse childhood experiences for sure, you know, and unfortunately there is no silver bullet. How do we find connection? How do we find a relationship that's trusted? This is the powerful stuff. It is about how can we engage? How can we feel connected? How can we be part of something? Because we can't change what's happened to people, right? We have to try to support people to move through that and connect to something else.